And the topic for today is how to use email templates to save time and boost sales. So let's just jump right in, and the agenda for today is pretty simple. We're going to talk about how you can save some time and how you can boost sales. So kind of structured in two halves there. But believe it or not, they're very interrelated. I mean, in theory, if you're a salesperson or a business owner, and if we help you to save time, then you have more time to do more selling. So saving time impacts your boosting of sales indirectly. But we will talk about, we're going to focus specifically on basically how you can achieve more by basically taking less steps, doing less manual stuff. And then the boosting sales, we'll talk a little bit about creating good email templates that'll help you to get your foot in the door of more accounts. So let's just start with the saving time piece. And the main point that I want to really focus on here, really, and part of my motivation for creating a lot of this content, creating tools in this area, is that, even all the way back to, when I first started my career as a salesperson, I noticed that the same situations happen again and again and again. Meaning, especially if you're just doing hardcore prospecting during the day, you definitely probably notice that you send a lot of the emails again and again, typing out the same message, responding to the same types of emails. I wear a lot of different hats today, but even today I still find myself writing out some of the same emails. And some examples of the situations that come up again and again are you find yourself wanting to reach out to a prospect, and you should probably call them, but you are gonna decide. You end up deciding to send them an email either first or instead of giving them a call. And so I call this kind of a pre-call email or a cold email. But if you're doing prospecting, you probably send a lot of these. I know I get cold emails every day from salespeople. So that's a situation that happens again and again. I personally think that it's a good best practice to after you leave a voicemail for a prospect when you're prospecting, cold prospecting, I think it's always good to follow up that voicemail with an email. So if you're leaving voicemails throughout the day, then then you have those voicemail, I call them voicemail follow-up emails, and those are always the same. If you type those out, if you send those and if you type them out one at a time, usually they're going to look very similar. And these are the types of areas where we can create templates and save a tremendous amount of time. You might speak to a prospect and they ask you to send them some information. By the way, that's a whole conversation in itself, how to handle that when a prospect says, "Oh yeah, just send me your info." But needless to say, it does come up, and there are times where you end up sitting there crafting the perfect email with your information. Well, create some templates so that you can boilerplate it and not have to write out those emails every time a prospect wants some more information from you. You might execute a meeting, a presentation, an appointment, a demonstration with a prospect. It's always good to follow up those with some sort of email. Well, those situations happen again and again. Hopefully you're having a lot of those meetings. And so this happens to me. I'll give you some examples of what currently happens to me. Maybe your situation is different, but maybe you can convert the examples that I share with you to your world. I know that my world is unique, but whether you're a business owner or a salesperson, your company may receive emails from prospects, or you might receive emails from prospects that often have frequently asked questions. So an example in my world is, we sell a software application, and a very frequently asked question is, do you have a free trial, that they would like a free trial of your product. We actually don't have a free trial. We have like a 30-day 100% money back guarantee instead of a free trial. But to really explain that, and so I have a template of a response. It's a little bit of an explanation of why we don't have a free trial, and to fully respond to that, it's a little bit of an explanation. And before I had a template, I was typing out I was typing out a response for every time that came in. And believe it or not, I probably wasn't thoroughly giving my good objection response to that, because I was typing it out. So an example of creating a template, not only does it save me time because now I can just grab the template, but it helps me to stay on message. So that can be important if you happen to be a sales manager and you have a team of people. Not only do email templates save time, but they can also help either you or your team to stay on message and always deliver the best message. So let's just keep moving on. But you might receive an inbound inquiry through your website. Maybe it's a question about your products or your services. So depending on what you sell, maybe you get some of the same emails coming in. A common scenario is that your customer ends up purchasing. So whether you're a frontline salesperson or a business owner, you sell a product or a service, hopefully you're closing some deals. And that's a good time to email the prospect. And what you should say in that email might be different depending on what you sell. We sell a software application, so there's some information that is good for us to send to someone after they sign up. So, there's a welcome email, here's a link to some videos to watch and whatnot. Maybe it's just an email that says, thank you, I'm here for you. But either way, those are common. Again, what I'm trying to show here is repetition, situations that repeat, and that there's repetition in all these scenarios. So what you should do is think about these types of scenarios for you. A couple more. You receive a request for a demo presentation, pricing proposal. Getting another example from my world, we have a request demo button on our website. So we get a lot of emails every day from people requesting a demo. So there's an email that needs to go back to that. So instead of typing out the email to go back to that request, we use a template. So saving a lot of time. Some prospecting scenarios that come up often, and I think we all have prospects that we haven't heard from in a while. They've gone cold. Well, we need to check back in with them. So either that's a scenario that you're not doing enough of, or if you are, then that's a repetitious scenario that you can use a template for. Or maybe you're about to walk away from a prospect and you want to send them one last email. This is just a brain dump of me thinking about common scenarios that I experience or that you might go through when you're prospecting. I try to get kind of the full sales process in there, so you kind of have at the beginning the pre-call scenario and kind of at the end when you're sort of either closing the deal or walking away. So it's not a perfect list, but I just want to help get your brain going there. And so what you can do there is, for those different scenarios, here's a process you can go through. You can make a list of common scenarios, situations, and start on a Sunday night or early morning or whenever, compose some emails for those different situations and create email templates. Another option that you can do, if you don't really want to kind of sit down and cram it out, you can build these as you go. So when you're sending an email to someone, stop to think, is this a common email is this an email that I'm writing again and again? And if it is, grab a copy of it, dump it in Microsoft Word, or stick it in a folder in Outlook, so that you can grab that and use it as a template later. Now, what I would recommend is you want to have some level of organization for all of your email templates. So this is just a screen capture of like a folder that I created in Google Drive for email templates, and you see here a list of documents. And what you want is, where you store your email templates, you want to be able to find them easily and copy them easily and grab them quickly. Because I know there's a lot of people that have a million folders on their hard drive, and if the point here is that if it's going to take you 3 minutes to find the email template, and it takes you 5 minutes to write a new email, most likely you're just going to type out the email. You need to make it so that you can find the email and access it quick, otherwise it's kind of a moot point. So whether you use a folder system on your hard drive or on Google Drive or whatever, just try to be a key for this working for you is for it to be organized. So I want to show you an example of how it's organized in SalesScripter. And so this is SalesScripter, and so this is a folder here of prospecting email templates in SalesScripter, and I just want to show you real quick. So by the way, in SalesScripter, when you sign up, you get loaded up with all these emails just sort of out of the gate. So these are all, I'm trying to teach you how you can do this on your own without purchasing anything from us, but we've also thought about common scenarios that you might come across when prospecting, and we've created email templates. So you see here all these pre-call emails. I'll show you these towards the end when we talk about boosting sales, but what I just want to show you right now is there's the folder here, and this is where you can access the email. So this could be sort of your central place to grab them and go. Now, these emails can all be customized, so I just want to show you, when I was going through those examples, I was sharing some examples of common scenarios for our business. So you can see here, I told you that we get a lot of emails asking about, do you have a free trial, or I want a free trial. So here's a customized template that I created for my scenario, for my situation, and if I click view, here is our response to that. We do not have a wide open free trial because of this. And so here's my thorough response to that. And so as you can see, before I created an email template for this, my response to that was much shorter, and it might have not been as successful of a response to that objection. So I can real easily just grab this and dump it into my responses to those emails that come in. You can also, I'm trying to help you to save time here. So whatever system you use, some CRMs you can load up email templates in as well and send them out of. So you could load this up in a CRM like HubSpot. I have some clients that use HubSpot and copy these and create email templates in HubSpot or Salesforce. You can send this directly through our system. So if you click send, then you're taken to a page where you can customize the response and click send and whatnot. One thing I also want to show you is we also, if you use Gmail as sort of the place that you manage and send your email out of for your inbox, we do have a Google Chrome extension that you see. This is our logo down here. Once you've installed the extension, you can click this SalesScripter icon, and this basically allows you to grab those email templates and load them directly into your email. So I was just showing you the free trial response. So if I click that, this is that same email, so it's directly in Gmail. So you can either grab, again, my goal is to save you time, allow you to not have to type stuff and access stuff quickly. So I'm showing you, trying to give you ideas on how to do that. And so the next thought is that I recommend you use tools that allow you to send your email templates or send email templates to multiple contacts at the same time. So a mass email. Not a revolutionary idea. It's probably something you're familiar with. In fact, if you're attending this webinar, so most likely you received a mass email from our company mentioning this webinar to you. So it's not a revolutionary idea. What I personally believe is that most companies use mass email blasts really well, or it's used primarily for marketing, and you get those corporate emails with promotions and messages and whatnot. What I think probably a lot of salespeople can use more is mass email blasts at the prospecting level. And so let me just give you an example. So like this is a screenshot from SalesScripter, and what we allow you to do is to create lists, and then you can send your email template to a list of prospects as a mass email. So just to give you some examples here, however you organize your lists in SalesScripter is up to you, but some types of lists that you could create are, you can create different lists for the different groups of prospects that are in your sales funnel, right? So you could have a list of prospects that you've sent quotes to, but they kind of stopped there. So these are people that have received a quote but never purchased, or prospects that signed up for a demo but missed a demo. or attended a webinar. And let me give you an example of why you might want to, how you could save time using a mass prospecting email blast. Is that, let's say it's the end of the quarter and you want to get those last minute quarter deals in before the books close, and you want to give away some discounts to close some business. Well, instead of going through your CRM and emailing prospects one at a time, you could go to your quote list that you've sent quotes to, and you could real quickly do a email template blast to all those contacts all at once, and have it personalized. It's going to do a mail merge, so it's going to look like a one-to-one email with their name, and you can say, hey, just checking in, sent you a quote, haven't heard back, and whatnot. And so that can help you to be really efficient. Again, our focus right now is talking about saving time, and saving time leads to more sales. Another example could be, you might have a geographic list. So maybe you are going to be in Southern California for a meeting, and you want to schedule appointments around that meeting so that you make the most out of your trip. Well, instead of going through your CRM or looking up businesses and calling them and emailing them one at a time, you could maybe load up a list of prospects in the Southern California area into your CRM and add those to a list. Or you could do a search by zip code or city in your CRM and attach those people to and create a Southern California list. And then you do a mass email blast all at once saying, hey, I'm going to be in your area, and whatever. You try to schedule meetings. So again, we're just trying to make you efficient, save time, less steps, less clicks, less emails being written, and whatnot. Now, one other thing about whether you use SalesScripter or another email automation tool is, typically when you do use something like that, you can run a report or get data on who's opening and clicking your email. And we certainly do that in SalesScripter as well. One thing that we do is we associate what we call quality points with when emails are opened or links are clicked. And so if you send out an email blast to 500 people, and if you do that one time, this really comes in handy if you're emailing people over a period of time, because that data of quality points is going to show you who is your best prospect and who's engaged with your emails. Because instead of calling 500 people, you can look at the quality points and you can say, okay, I'm going to focus on calling these 50 people, and it's the 50 people with the most quality points. So it allows you to really determine how you use your time most efficiently. So a little bit there is not necessarily saving steps, it's making the best decision of who you invest your time and steps with. Or you could look at it as though you, instead of spending time calling 500 people, you are going to spend less time focusing on calling 50 people. But just a thought there as an FYI. The other thing is that, so we were just talking about sending one email template to a lot of people at one time. The other thing to think about is using a tool that will allow you to automate the delivery of future emails so that you're not having to send those follow-up emails. And the thing is that that it takes more than one email to either get a response, to get your foot in the door, to close a deal, whatever. It takes multiple attempts, multiple touches. So why spend your manual effort doing that follow-up when there's plenty of tools out there that can automate that? So let me go back to my world to give you an example. Is I mentioned the demo requests that come in through our website. So we get emails every day, hey, I'd like to see a demo. Well, some of those, we respond to those, and sometimes people respond back and we schedule a demo or get them in our sales funnel. Sometimes plenty of people don't respond. And sometimes people don't respond because they're not qualified, but sometimes people don't respond because they get busy or distracted, and when they were on our website they were really motivated, right? So a lot of the people that come in through that channel, they need more follow-up in order to get them engaged. So what I want to show you now, let me go back to SalesScripter and I just want to show you that you can create a series of emails in some of those common scenarios. So like I pointed out, a common scenario for us is a demo request, inbound demo request. So I have, if you'll notice here, I have SalesScripter demo request email. So this is just one email, and I'll just show you this. So it's one email template, okay? But if I go back here, I also have this demo request email thread. We use the phrase thread to refer to a string of emails tied together. And so what this is, I'll show you this real quick. So this is, I think it's 5 emails. So yeah, it's 5 emails, and so they're designed to follow one on another. So the frequency is 1 per week, and so this is the email that someone gets if they contact us through our website. But if they don't, if the demo doesn't get scheduled, then a week later they're going to get this this second email and third email and fourth email. And these emails are slightly different. You know, they reinforce one another. Without explaining to you what is in there, the main point here is that there's this continued follow-up. This is what you might do if you were a salesperson and you have tons of time and you're just going to continue to follow up with all these different leads. But why spend all that manual labor when there's tools that can do it? And just to show you, so if you send this email through SalesScripter, and there's other tools out there that do this, but if you send this through SalesScripter, those future emails get automated. So again, we're talking about using email templates, and we're talking about saving time, and so this all then becomes automated. So when you basically automate this email, the emails to the inbound requests, you automate emails for all these different scenarios. Basically, you have the software working for you, sending all these emails you completely forget about. By the way, these additional emails, when people are engaging, the CRM is tracking the opens and clicks, and those quality points are accumulating. So that's going to then be grooming this small group, or what, maybe not even small, but this group of people that have a large number of quality points. So then you can clearly say, these are the people that it makes sense for me to spend my valuable time with. Just a thought there on automating those future emails. And those are my recommendations for saving time. It's about creating emails so you're not writing the same email again and again, being organized with them so you can grab them and access them quickly, and sending multiple emails out at one time so you kind of have a big shotgun reach of a lot of people all at once, automating future emails so that you have the software doing your job for you, kind of deal. Now let's talk about boosting sales, and what this really comes down to is really having good messaging is what I want to. So I want to focus on what you're putting in some of your email templates, because if you do everything I just mentioned to you but your emails are garbage, then that's not going to be great for you. Meaning, if you send out an email blast to 1,000 people but the email message is not good, then your results might be limited. So it's about being efficient, but it's also about it's working hard but also working smart, or whatever metaphor you want to use. But the key thing here is I want to focus on how to create good email messages. So this is that same list of examples that I just ran through, and as we know, it's not a complete list, or it might not be a list that matches up with your world exactly. But I just put in red so the thing is that I can't tell you what to put in all your emails, because like the examples that are in black are very case by case. So what you should put in your email to a customer that purchases is different from everybody else. So I could maybe work with you one-on-one to figure out how to best compose that, but it's hard for me to kind of say use this process. But about half of these scenarios I can help you with, and the reason why I can is because they're more closely tied to prospecting, and it's easier for me to give you suggestions on building your prospecting and sales message than really some of the other stuff. And so those are the areas in red, which are basically, what are we emailing someone when we're trying to reach out to them for the first time, when we're leaving them voicemail, when we're checking back in with them. So I want to show you kind of a methodology for figuring out what to put in those messages. And so first, let's look at what most salespeople do, and I feel very confident when I tell you what most salespeople do, because I get these emails every single day, and it's basically a product selling sales pitch. So it's emails, hey, hello, I'm with this company, we sell this type of service, this is maybe how it works or how it costs or what it does. And then the email is always typically focused on trying to close the sale. So it might not be saying, trying to sign me up, but it's validating, do you need this, do you want this today? An example of an email trying to close the sale, uh, sometimes payroll providers will reach out to me, and I've used this example before, but certainly you don't sign up for payroll outsourcing over one email. So they're not trying to close the sale in the email, but the message of the email is around, are you looking to change payroll providers? And so I might not. Most likely, when they send that email, I'm not. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't make sense for us to talk. So they could change the message to where it's not focused on, do you need this, do you want this, are you looking to change today? There's a different way to communicate. So let me talk about what we would recommend you do, and that is to have more of a consultative sales pitch. So instead of focusing on the company and the product, focus more on the benefits that you offer, the improvements that you help to make, the value you offer. Focus more on common problems that you help to resolve, the pain points that someone might have, so that they would want to buy from you. And I'll go through an example, sort of filling in these areas. We believe that this best salesperson is the one that asks the best questions. You can ask questions in your email templates, and good questions to ask are questions that determine if someone has the problems that you help with. Because if they don't have the problems and the concerns that you help with, then they're not somebody that you should spend your valuable time meeting with. If you've helped some other customers, share those. Those are good examples to include in your sales pitch. If you differ in some sort of way, highlight that. If you deliver some sort of ROI, focus on that. And then the message can be focused on trying to start the conversation. So going back to the payroll person, instead of saying, are you looking to change your payroll provider, focus the message on starting a conversation. I know you might not be looking to change payroll providers. Most likely you aren't, but I want to share some examples with you and just start the conversation with you. That's something you can put in an email. So this approach focuses on those areas, and again, we're here to talk about email templates. So what? And by the way, I just want to point out, what is on the right side is not revolutionary. I'm not the first person to say, hey, focus on benefits, or ask good questions. By no means is this revolutionary. But what I will say is that it can be difficult to stay on the right side. The left side is easier. You know about your product and your company, so you can be on the left without thinking and using energy, right? It's easier. You actually have to kind of think a little bit and get a little bit more creative when trying to communicate on the. You have to be a little bit more sophisticated to be on the right, and it's not sophisticated in real time. You can be more sophisticated by stopping your selling for a moment and organizing your thoughts. And so that's something that we can help with, whether it's our training or our tool set. But anyways, so organizing your thoughts in these areas in terms of thinking about the benefits you offer or the problems you fix. And by the way, when you fill in some points into each of these areas on the right side, those can be used to create your prospecting message and your prospecting email templates. Let me give you an example. So I'll go through an example of trying to fill in those buckets on the right, and I'm going to use a product of trying to sell a gym membership. So I try to use this sometimes, and in hopes that it's an example that everybody can kind of get their hands around and relate to. And so selling a gym membership, if we start with the product, the gym membership is a monthly membership to the facility or to all the facilities. In the facility, there's treadmills, there's weights, there's classes, personal training, a lap pool, sauna, steam room, and whatnot. So that's the product. And if you have a very product sales pitch, you kind of stay there and picture like taking a tour of a gym. And I know there's some sophisticated salespeople at gyms. I won't, say that everybody's bad, but picture taking a tour of a facility and someone showing you the product. Here are the treadmills. We have TVs on every treadmill. Here are our yoga classes and our weight room, and we have the lap pool and whatnot. So that's the product pitch. But if you want to move to become more sophisticated, don't stop there. Kind of push yourself, and so then think about what are the benefits that product or those features deliver to someone. So if someone, let's say you're talking to someone that's looking to lose weight. There's different types of buyers, by the way, that go to a gym. Some people are looking to lose weight, some people are looking to gain weight, So by the way, that's a good example of when you change your buyer persona, your pitch could change. If someone's looking to bulk up, then your points about losing weight, they don't really connect. So you need to slightly alter your sales pitch. And how that translates to email templates, you might need different. When you start getting sophisticated, you could have different email templates for different buyer personas that really hit the hot buttons. You don't have to get there out of the gate, but that's a place to strive to. But anyways, let's say that our buyer persona is someone looking to lose weight. Well, the benefits that we can help that person is these features and the product helps them to lose weight, get healthier, get on and stay on a workout schedule, transition to a healthier lifestyle, feel better, become more attractive, improve self-confidence, decrease stress, become happier. And so think about it. What's more powerful, talking about treadmills and lap pools or talking about these? That's where you start to have a more powerful message, and that can be used when you're making calls, when you're talking to someone in person, when you're giving a presentation, when you're leaving a voicemail, and when you're sending email templates. It doesn't stop there, because we can take those benefits, and I mentioned thinking about the pain points and the problems that you help to resolve. That's really where you can strike a chord with someone. And so you might know the pain points that your product fixes, but again, the pain points might be different when you change different buyer personas. And so a way to get to a really buyer persona focused set of pain points is to look at each of those benefits, and for each benefit is typically an opposing pain point. So if we look at losing weight, then this particular buyer persona might need to lose weight and get in better shape, not healthy and do not feel good, difficult to get on and stay on a workout schedule, do not feel good and often get sick, not happy with physical appearance, and so on. And so we arrive at a very solid list of pain points. Again, those can be used for email templates. Now, we talked about asking good questions. Well, if you solve these problems, well, then good questions to ask are questions to figure out if someone has these concerns. So for each pain point could be a probing question. So I won't read through those, but there are some examples. And we could go one step further. I mentioned thinking of if you've helped someone else, then let's highlight that. And so here's an example of someone else that we've sold our gym membership to that is similar to that buyer persona, and that then becomes a customer example. And by the way, you could have different examples for the different buyer personas. You don't want to tell your example of someone losing weight to someone that's looking to bulk up and get, be a triathlon person or whatever. So you might have different examples, but all of this can be used to create email templates. And let me show you what that looks like, because I'll show you it in SalesScripter in real email templates. By the way, SalesScripter will take you through that workflow of organizing all your points. I mean, you could do that in like a spreadsheet or a Word document, but like you can see here that I'm in SalesScripter, and here's our sales pitch builder. and there's this area for sales pitch campaigns, and you can actually see gym membership for people looking to lose weight. Those points I actually sort of organized by going through this workflow here. Again, it's just about organizing your thoughts. You could do it like I said, in a spreadsheet. The software does kind of hold your hand and help you to be more organized and not miss anything. But the real benefit about doing this in the software is that what it does is it dumps all your answers into all these email templates. So I mentioned pre-call emails. So like, here's a value focus email template. Hey, the reason why I'm reaching out to you is I'm with Stratagem, and we help people that are looking to lose weight to benefit. We help to improve those areas, and that's why I'm reaching out to you. So here's an email template. Now, listen, I'm not going to say that this is perfect. Either just it might not match up with your selling style or your sales process, but what has happened here is that we dumped all these benefits, and then the software basically links all your answers to create this. So if anything, it's at least just better than a blank piece of paper. It's also it helps you to be reminded to focus on benefits. So you can come in here and add more, or take anything out, but that is an example of the benefits. Now, I mentioned that when I showed you the consultative selling approach, we had benefits, and we had pain points, and we had questions, and a customer example. Well, each of those can be a unique email. So you see here, these are different pre-call emails, but you have a pain email, a name drop email. So here's a name drop email that mentions that example of helping someone lose weight. And so you have these different emails. Now, we also string these emails together to create what I've showed you earlier, which is email threads. Earlier, I showed you like an email thread for our demo requests. Well, that's a unique scenario to my business that is different from yours. I told you that this process kind of helps you with prospecting. So we do give you these pre-call email threads, and like, here's a 6 email thread that so here's a value message, a week later a pain message, a week later a name drop message. Here's a qualify message that brings in some of your questions, a product message. So email number 5, I told you I get emails every day with a product message, and they send me the product message on email number 1. In our approach, we start to get to some product details on email number 5, and then here's a last attempt email, checking in. So just some thoughts there again. And again, you can send that thread through our system, and we'll automate those. You can edit any of these templates as well. But anyways, so that is an approach to creating a message, and you can use the content for that in pre-call emails, LinkedIn emails. You can also use those same points. So you see here, post voicemail emails. I told you the consultative approach, when you kind of organize your thoughts, you can use that for everything. So you can also use it for voicemail scripts. So like, here's a voicemail pain message. We're not talking about emails, we're talking about a voicemail message here. So this is something that you might leave when you're leaving a voicemail message, right? But I mentioned to you that I would recommend you follow up every voicemail message with a prospecting email, or with a voicemail follow-up email. So I just showed you the pain voicemail script. Here's a pain voicemail follow-up email, and just show you this actually pairs exactly with that voicemail message. So I know most people can figure out how to leave a voicemail message, and then you can compose a follow-up email that kind of summarizes what you left in your voicemail message. So either A, this might be an approach that is a little bit more powerful because you're focusing on pain and benefits and whatnot, but if nothing else, it's less stuff for you to have to type out and less stuff for you to have to think about. You can just follow it. But anyways, and then I also mentioned, so like, here's a checking back in message. So you can use your pain points. I mentioned to you, like, in the common examples, that you might have a prospect that you haven't spoken to in a while. So you can use your pain points as a reason to check back in. Hey, it's been a little while. One reason I thought it might make sense to talk is pain point, pain point, pain point. So there's a template for that. So that's a checking back in template. And then we have a last attempt template. So this is sort of like the walk away. So we use some of the pain points for the checking back in, and we use the value points, the benefits, for the last attempt. So the last attempt email is, hope all's well, never heard back. Sometimes this is what I put in here from like my own sort of selling style. You could change this, but I never heard back from you, and sometimes no response is indeed a response, but I thought I would follow up with you one last time. The reason why I'm trying to connect with you is that we help people looking to lose weight with some of the following areas. So again, see, this is I'm still working on that gym example, but when you change either the product or the buyer persona, all these details change. So again, if you were to like have another campaign for someone looking to like become Mrs. Olympian, these points don't really resonate with that buyer. Even though the product is exactly the same, a workout facility, you would have different benefits, such as reaching your fitness goals, getting into competition state quicker and shorter, you know, so totally different benefits. That kind of wraps up the topic on saving time. So saving time by using more email templates, being organized, boosting sales by having a good message, and then repetition through email threads and whatnot. So that's pretty much it, what I wanted to show you today. If you want more help, this is all part of what we call our SMART sales system. So SMART is what we've branded it under, and it stands for basically sales messaging and response tactics. Because I've been through a lot of sales training programs, I've read a lot of books, and I personally think that most stuff out there doesn't teach you what to say and what to ask and how to respond. It's either more fluffy and or it doesn't really just give you real tangible stuff to do. So our goal is to create tools and a methodology that make it clear of what to say. I believe that a salesperson's best sales tool is the words that come out of their mouth or get put into an email. And so we want to give you a process and clarity for exactly what to say and what to ask. We do that through kind of like a three-legged stool. So the first leg of the three-legged stool is a methodology. So kind of what you're seeing here today is part of a large, full sales prospecting methodology that, again, is kind of focused around what you say and ask, but it kind of just provides, it's not just about what you say and ask, but also about when to reach out to someone, when to follow up, when to leave a voicemail, when to email, how to get a hold of people, how to communicate. And so that methodology is all on YouTube, actually for free. You can find it under a playlist called the Smart Sales System Training Program, and there's about 27 videos on there that you can access for free. You can also access most of our content through ebooks. We have 6 free ebooks, and then we have a book on Amazon that you can purchase called The Cold Calling Equation. One of the benefits to buying the book versus the ebooks is it goes into a little bit more detail. I also like it because you can order it in paperback, so you can have it on your desk, or if you have employees, you can give them a copy of the book where you can dog tag and fold corners for certain topics. There's a chapter on objections, there's a chapter on emails, voicemails, and so you can highlight stuff, but that's one of the benefits of the book versus ebooks. And again, the sales training is on YouTube for free, but certainly we provide live training and can be hired and for that. But one of the reasons why we give away so much content for free is our business model is to get you to use our software, and we don't hide that, and at all. I mean, there's nothing malicious about that. We've been talking about creating email templates. You can use a lot of what I've shown you without purchasing our software. But our logic really is, if you watch all of our videos and you love all of our stuff, and you want to implement all of our tips and tactics, you might as well use our software. It's $50 a month, or less, depending on what plan you get on. But instead of you recreating all of these templates and doing all of it manually, and the amount of time it takes to manage it and make changes and manage different versions and find it, you can do, and then to send emails manually and one at a time, you can do all of it 1,000 times better using our software. So again, you can do we give you the training and hope that you love it. And if you love it, you might want to look at the software. The third leg of the three-legged stool is professional services. So you can either hire us, to help you in terms of either consulting or coaching, and we can either help you to build your script or help you, with coaching one-on-one weekly or whatever frequency you need. But so that is the third leg of the stool. But basically, we want you to, we believe that by creating clarity of what to say and do will help you to be smart. Kind of getting back to that acronym of SMART. By asking, we're going to get you to ask good questions, and believe it or not, the thing is that if you can actually trick this, a little way to hack the system in terms of making you appear a lot smarter than you are, is if you ask good questions, you will appear smart. And so if you're new in a sales job and you don't know how your product that you sell works, you can fool your customers, or if you hire a new salesperson, you can make your salespeople look good by teaching them what questions to ask, and you can learn what questions to ask a lot quicker than you can learn all the insides and outs about either your industry or your prospect's industry. By appearing smart to your customers and prospects, you're going to make a better impression, and you're also going to get more information by asking good questions. And by having more information, you'll be smarter. And this is going to, when you have more information about, an example is, if you ask good questions, you're going to know which prospects are good and which prospects are a waste of time. And that will allow you to determine who you should spend your valuable time with. That will make you smarter, and it'll make you more. It will help you to use your time better, which will lead to better results and help you to get more out of your day and week. And believe it or not, by being smart, not only will you sell more and make more money and your career progress more, but your job of selling will actually be easier, and it'll be less stressful. One example or analogy is if you were ever in school and you had to take a test, and if you can ever think about a time where you weren't prepared for the test versus a time, hopefully, that there was a test that you were prepared for. The test that you were prepared for usually is easier, less stressful. You get through it quicker, and it's just no problem. Where when you aren't prepared, it's just not only are the results at the end of the day worse, but it's just a much more difficult, uncomfortable process. So imagine making a challenging job like selling similar to that test that you were prepared for. Not only do you make more money, but you might even work less. Instead of working 60 hours, you work 35 hours, and and whatnot. So that is not a crazy thought. By implementing some of these tactics, especially with looking at email automation and whatnot, you actually can make your job easier and more successful at the same time. Anyways, our software is $49 per month for the full license. You do get a 40% discount if you sign up for the year. So the reason why we give such a large discount for the year is there are people who just want to use our system to create some documents, and they just want it for a month or two. And then we have a different type of user that does use the email automation and some of the email tools and tools when they're making calls. And so so you kind of we have short-term customers and we have long-term customers. So we do want to give you a better price if you're a long-term customer, and that's why you get a 40% discount. Sales training is available at no cost if you use our YouTube videos. We do provide a Scripter walkthrough service, which is a 2-hour process, coaching engagement. I'm currently the one who still does all of those. And so basically we meet for 2 hours, you and I, and we go through your sales pitch builder and I help you to answer every question. I even do the typing. You just kind of sit back. It's really productive, and honestly I could charge $1,000 for a Scripter walkthrough based on what I help you to come up with at the end. And basically all of the answers we come up with then dump into your library of documents. You have a full library of documents, and I could charge a lot of money for that. But again, it's basically I see $200 as sort of my cost. $100 an hour is the bare minimum that I can justify, working with a client, and so I sell that at cost. And again, the reason why is because I want you to be a subscriber of our software ongoing and refer it to your friends, or if you're a manager, to expand it to your organization. So I don't want to charge you $1,000 for getting you all set up where I easily could. I want to just do it at cost and to get you and everybody in your ecosystem to become a subscriber. That's our business goal. Anyways, here's my info. If you have any questions, feel free to email me directly. Follow us on Twitter, and let me see if there are any questions.